Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna upsell you broken Sims 4 packs, never gonna withhold weather from a life simulation game and upsell it later on as DLC. Said no one ever, and by no one I mean EA. At first, I was planning on thinking of titling this video something like The Sims team have given up on The Sims 4, but then I realized that would be very unfair because at the end of the day, the Sims team are just employees of a company. I really hate it when I see people in the Sims community send out vile tweets aimed towards specific members of the Sims team, and I really think it needs to stop. Like, if I ordered food from Uber Eats and the food arrived late and I was really angry, the next day, if I saw a random Uber Eats employee in the street in their uniform, I wouldn't walk up to them and angrily shout at them because I know it's not personally their fault. But I do believe that a lot of people in the Sims community don't get that and aim that anger towards the individuals who work for EA, calling themselves Sim Gurus online. And unfortunately, that's one of the main reasons why I don't really want to be a part of the Sims community, if I'm being honest. One thing I will say is, however, if you are a member of the Sims team and you create a Twitter account called Sim Guru, you are putting yourself on public platform as a representative of EA. Although you may not be officially a representative of EA, even though you may just be volunteering to do it, you are still doing it as a representative of EA, calling yourself a Sim Guru. And, you know, if you put yourself on public platform, you are putting yourself open to public criticism. If you don't want to receive criticism, then don't put yourself on public platform. As a content creator, I embrace all hate comments and criticism that I get because I know it's a part of my job, and that's why I don't let it get to me, and that's why I allow it to happen. With that in mind, my first criticism of that is a radio silence. It's always very clear which packs the Sims team enjoyed making the most because they always spend so much time talking about them on Twitter. In terms of the most recent packs, the only really hyped up pack the Sims Gurus did online was a werewolves pack. The other packs like My Wedding Stories and even High School Years didn't really get that much hype, and to me this clearly suggests that significantly less enthusiasm went in these packs compared to werewolves. Notably, the werewolves pack is one of the least glitchy and most fulfilling packs we've had in recent years in terms of gameplay. So do I think the Sims team have selection bias when it comes to making packs? Yes, I do. Based on that, I do believe that the EA employees working for the Sims 4 have given up and only seem to show selective interest in certain packs when it suits them. I remember during the initial live stream for the werewolves pack, they talked about how the Sims team communicated together to work on the pack, and I could definitely see that there was a lot of effort that really went into it. And from my experience watching the other live streams, this simply hasn't been the case. The biggest train wreck that I can remember was the My Wedding Stories live stream. I remember watching it and thinking the whole point of this live stream is to show off the pack working, and it was literally so monotonous, and the gameplay of the pack didn't even work during the live stream, and they just ignored it like everything was fine. I have absolutely no idea what the dynamics are like in Maxis, but clearly something is wrong, and furthermore contributing to the sentiment which I believe all Simmers feel, which is that EA employees have given up on The Sims 4. Having a workforce that are genuinely passionate about their job, I think, is so important. Something that's undervalued in this modern capitalist society, unfortunately, but something that I think can make a very big difference, especially when it comes to video game development like that of The Sims 4. One thing that EA is terrible at lately is official transparency, because of course we cannot rely on the volunteering Sim Gurus for official information. We have to rely on EA themselves. They haven't always been so bad. We used to get things like Inside Maxis live streams. We also used to get another form of live streams called Maxis Monthlies. These were live streams held by EA employees to talk about what's happening with the game, discussing any new features coming up, as well as discussing things around the Sims community in general. We also used to have a lot of updates from EA about the states of bugs and glitches. We used to have something which they would call a laundry list, which was a monthly list of every bug that they were working on for that specific time period. Not only that, there always used to be Sims events like literal physical meetups, although obviously the pandemic changed a lot of things in regards to that. We're clearly seeing a lot less effort from EA when it comes to things like meet and greet events or fan events, even online events, which they could do but haven't. These days, the only time that we ever really get information about The Sims 4 is if it comes from an accidental leak, and if this was a written blog rather than a video, I would have put the word accidentally in inverted commas, because clearly there are so many leaks happening at this stage. Are they really accidental? As far as I'm aware, Maxis do have a dedicated team / person who deals with PR and community relations, and there is literally no reason why a company worth billions of dollars cannot have sufficient sufficient transparency for one of its biggest gaming studios that also happens to sell a game called The Sims 4 that also happens to cost over $1,000 for the complete experiences. Despite EA lacking transparency, what is very transparent to me is that there is no transparency internally in EA. Does that grammatically make sense? Even if it didn't, you know what I mean. And yes, I do believe it is a major sign that they are giving up on the game. The Sims at its core, ever since The Sims 1, has always been about playing it your way, doing your own thing with the game. But these days, I can't help but feel like the game pushes you in a box of building pretty things and making pretty Sims. We all know kits have basically replaced stuff packs, and unlike stuff packs, kits contain no gameplay, they're just pretty assets. And in that sense, I do think they are a lazy addition to the game. To compare to the Sims 3 era, we had the Sims 3 store. Unlike Sims 4 kits, which are just build buy assets or cast assets, in the Sims 3 store we actually had really cool things such as new worlds, new gameplay objects, new features that were more than just pretty assets. In that sense, I do believe that EA has given up on Sims 4 gameplay. Even though I do find kits very cash grabby, I wouldn't have a problem with them if they actually contained fun gameplay things. But because they're not, right now I just feel like the Sims 4 is a cash cow. I believe that EA are putting in minimal effort despite getting the same high output of sales, and if they can get away with it, then of course they'll keep on doing it. At its core, The Sims 4 is a bad game, objectively. I personally don't even think The Sims 4 should have been released in the state that it was back in the day, and I do believe that even now the developers at Maxis are suffering and the Sims players are suffering. The only one who doesn't seem to be suffering is EA, our billionaire sugar daddy, who is still greatly profiting from The Sims 4. There's that saying, if it's not broken, don't fix it. But in EA's book, I feel like the saying goes more like, if it's broken, you don't need to fix it as long as you're still making money off it, regardless of how bad your reputation is as a result of it. The fact of the matter is, EA have not given up making money from The Sims 4, but what does seem to be the case is that they've given up on trying to make it a good game and given up on trying to please the players. Unless Simmers stop buying these bad packs, fully knowing that they aren't going to be that good, EA will likely continue on doing what they're doing. Although it's not your fault as a player, it's EA's fault. The fact of the matter is, EA won't do anything. I've had a lot more comments in my comment sections on my videos recently from people saying, I haven't brought a single pack since my wedding stories because that was a nail in the coffin for me. And I honestly really wonder if other Simmers are going to go that way soon, or if they're just going to continue buying the packs. Because I know some of you also say to me in the comment section, you admit to me, Satch, I agree with everything that you say, but I still buy all of the packs knowing they're going to be bad. Guys, honestly, I don't know why you do it. Do you have an addiction? Maybe we should have maybe we should have Sims AA meetings. If you want to know in more detail about why I think The Sims 4 is the worst Sims game, I have a video here talking about everything I believe The Sims 4 has ruined, specifically when compared to previous Sims games, so make sure you check that one out here. Of course, thank you for watching. See you in the next one.